Hello and welcome to the Michelle Molyneux Vodcast. This is episode 2. Count them, people. We are on episode 2 and I am with the fabulous Michelle today. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Lovely smile. Excellent. We're filming this on Monday, the 11th of March. What's happening in the world at the moment on the 11th of March that's positive that we can actually talk about? What's happening? Is anything happening that isn't war zones or the wrong presidents potentially getting elected?
No,
we can't think of anything. But I'll tell you what we can talk about today. We're going to be talking about the fantastic business that Michelle runs, and we're really diving in deep today about the products and the services, moreover, that Michelle looks after and can help you with. So I don't want to waste any more time. I really don't want to get straight into it. Michelle, just give us a bit of an overview, please, about the fantastic services which you do indeed offer, and then we will get into those throughout the episode.
Okay, so as a data protection and compliance specialist, I actually look at data protection and compliance. So I always have the compliance bit on as well, because that doesn't mean all the other policy and procedures within a business. And I offer services, 5 main areas. So it comes under consultancy and advice, training and awareness, outsourcing, so having me as your external quality department or data protection specialist, auditing and reviewing, so if you need your policies reviewing, and also working with small businesses who want to work with corporates and public sector, and having the specialist there in the background to support you to work with the corporates and public sectors.
Yeah.
Who would really like to get the money's worth of policies out of you.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they usually give you a list as long as you're on going, have you got this policy and this policy and this policy? And you look at it going, no. So, yeah, I've had companies come to me before and go, could we need this for this policy, for this? When can you have it to us? And like, yeah, give me I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which one of those areas, I'm sure you enjoy all of it, of course, but which one of those kind of do you get most enjoyment out of or most impact? You know, which ones do you really like doing more often?
They're all so different and so varied, and I love the impact it has on the businesses, no matter which sector.
Well, that's a really interesting full answer there, Michelle. I really appreciate that. And it is interesting, as you say, those different services which you offer. I think it's fantastic. And as I say, that's what we want to get into in today's episode. So with that thinking ahead then, just let me know about the triggers maybe, the different size companies and the people that you work with. How might they come across your service and when would they kind of put their hand up and say, I need to ring the fantastic Michelle Molyneux to help them out?
That's really interesting because it all depends actually on the client. A lot of my clients come through via referral because they've mentioned something passing and they're going, actually you need, and then they've connected us via that way. The other way is usually they'll realise they need, like, one client knew that they needed Cyber Essentials renewing, and they just needed to find somebody who could support them in doing that. Again, that came through a referral. But another one is literally one client recently said, we don't know what we don't know. And I was like, right, okay. We know we've got some data protection in place. We don't know what we've got in place realistically. We don't know what else needs to be put in place. So they came to me and asked if I could do an audit on their business and go from there on what their next steps would be after that. So yeah, it can be anything from a 20-minute advice call. So I've had one person literally phone me up and go, we've got this mailing list, can we email it? And I was like, when you unpick all the questions, you actually find out that sometimes it's not an email marketing, it's a functional email, and you're like, yeah, you can do it. But you've got to unpick So I try and aim my services to be as bespoke as possible, but also to give as much value as possible to SMEs, preferably more particular small businesses who need the data protection support and sometimes don't even know that they need it or where to go to get it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, and that's why this video series is being created, of course, so that you can reach further out to those types of businesses, so they know a trusted, place to go and get that kind of independent advice, which is fantastic. Yeah, no, that's great. Okay, well, I really appreciate how the size of business you are versus who you want to help is really key. SMEs, all those different businesses that want to kind of use your services. But what is the killer question? I would like to personally shout from the rooftops, even if you can't, about what you think sets you apart. So I know that's a killer question. That's a Piers Morgan question right there for you. So what do you think does set you apart?
Apart from not having a voice. Well, I think one of the things that I like to specialise in is making sure my services are specific for SMEs, especially the micros and the smalls, because a lot of the time when you look at the material out there, they're for mediums or larger businesses. They don't always adapt well, so especially some of the off-the-shelf stuff. I think also I've got the 15 years experience in compliance of writing policies for across organisations. Even when I used to write health and safety policies, even when the health and safety manager used to sit next to me. So yeah, it's one of them. I like to try and be as accessible and as diverse as I possibly can to try and make sure that anyone and everyone has got access to a data protection specialist.
Yeah, and that's so important, isn't it? As you say, for any business, it is important. As you've said before about email marketing and how that is so key, intrinsically linked to what you can help businesses do. And I think that experience just does cry out, shouts out. Really, as you say, no pun intended with the way your voice is at the moment, but it does. And that experience you have kind of does shine through, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. I think my background is I'm an ex-primary school teacher. I've worked in export. I've worked in admin, and I've been a VA, and I've worked in health and social care in a quite busy quality department doing their audits. So I've got a mountain of experience that I can pull on, as well as my 8 years experience with data protection to support businesses to get the foundations in place.
Yeah, it's so important. Foundations, yeah, totally. That's interesting. That's great. And I want to move on to our next question to delve into that more. Workshops. And I understand you also have a number of workshops and LinkedIn Live. So tell us a bit more about them. Who do they help? When are they carried out? Tell me more.
I run 2 free online training webinars every month. One's usually data protection and one's usually around compliance. So like this month it is I've got safer internet and email marketing. Next month there'll be like a basic GDPR and cyber essentials. So it's trying to give people a taster and a very quick bite into what they need to actually be implementing within the business and some just key pointers, basically. So yeah, I do that once a fortnight. All the details are on my website, and a link to Ticket Tailor where they can actually book the tickets and the seats. I run them on Teams, so yeah, it's all online. And then we also do what's called the GDPR marketing happy half hour, once a month with a great friend of mine, Jill Bishop, and we go through all the issues around marketing and GDPR that collide, and we have a conversation usually the last Tuesday of the month on LinkedIn. So again, you can find the events on either my profile or Jill's, because we alternate who hosts it. So we both host it alternate months.
No, that's great. That's great. I mean, I bet they're not only well attended, I'm sure, but also full of juicy tips, hints, all sorts of stuff.
We try and give as much content as we can, and also try and demyth quite a lot and around what GDPR and marketing myths are. So last month was all about jargon, marketing jargon. The month before was email marketing and GDPR,
right.
And the great legislation of the privacy, electronic communication regulation, and all the rules and regs that go with that.
Oh, wow. Sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's a minefield. And when they actually break it down to the fact that there's different regulations for individuals and small sole traders to a limited company, it becomes, you understand why businesses find it difficult, because there's so many different rules and regulations in place.
Okay. Well, no, that's great. And again, that's why everyone who's watching this fantastic podcast should be tuning in, because over the coming weeks and months, we're talking about all these in detail. You know, as you can see today, we're talking about Michelle's fantastic general overview, really, isn't it? Product, services, but we'll be sure to dip, dive and dunk, just like biscuits and tea, into all these fantastic subjects over the coming weeks. So do look out for those webinars and workshops and LinkedIn Lives, because I'm sure you're going to get so much value from all of that. So no, that's great. Okay, Michelle, it was absolutely fantastic to share this second episode with you. I really, really love just delving a little bit deeper into the products and services. And again, we will continue to do that over the coming weeks and months. I just want to say thank you to you for letting me co-host this fantastic Vodcast, and I will see you on episode 3.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.